Hello, Miss Carrie. So today my presentation is about the Atkins diet. The Atkins diet was invented or started back in 1960, and it was by Mr. Robert C. Atkins. His focus was on restricting carbs while emphasizing on protein and fats. In this diet, we have 4 phases. The first phase is introduction. The purpose of this phase is to initiate weight loss, eating high fats, high protein with low carbs. The second phase includes gradually adding more carbs to your diet. Add nuts, seeds, low carbs, and veggies. The third phase is continue increasing carbs in your diet, focusing maintaining your weight loss. And the last phase in this diet, it is maintaining the progress you made during this stage. So basically, I have different if you notice, I have different diets here. So I kind of compare the Atkins diet to the keto diet. And when we see the difference, the keto, a lot of people think it's the same, the keto and the Atkins, but it's a little difference. The keto focuses on high fats, while the Atkins focuses on low fats. The keto focuses on low carbs, while the Atkins, you continue to get a little bit more carbs as you go through your weeks. The keto consists of macro intake, while the Atkins macro intake varies by phase. So the differences between the keto and the Atkins is the keto makes you lose weight quick, a lot of weight quick, but eventually you gain it back. The difference with the Atkins is you eliminate all the carbs at the beginning, and through every different phase, you keep adding a little bit more carbs. You get good carbs, not bad carbs. This is some examples of bad carbs. If you see me scary, I've kind of laid down everything down. Wheat bread, even though it's wheat bread, still bad carbs. Tortilla, those are carbs, those are bad carbs. So we need good carbs in our systems, you know? So that's what the keto and the Atkins. I have another demonstration here. This is the low calorie, high carb diet, and it's against the Atkins. So if you can tell right here in the picture, you can tell the difference. Basically is up and down. Your levels are up and down when you eat sugars. When you eat a lot of carbs, they turn into sugars. So when you focus on high carbs, that means the sugar levels are up and down. With the Atkins, the purpose is try to maintain your sugar levels stable. The second difference between this one is basically when you have a lot of carbs, it becomes fat, and that will become belly. We get a lot of fat because that's what carbs does. When you have less carbs, but you still have them in your system, you're able to digest your carbs and you stay leaner. The third difference between these two is it burns sugar but stores fat, and the Atkins burns fat and loses weight. We see here a couple things that I was able to do research. Foods that you can eat in the Atkins, it's like meats, beef, broccoli, lamb, chicken, bacon. You know, try to stay more on the lean side than the fatty. You know, that's the difference with the keto. Keto, you want to eat the fat, the bacon, all the grease. You can eat all that stuff. But when you try to the Atkins, you want to include protein, but a little bit more lean meat. You also want to include fatty fish like salmon, trout, sardines. Eggs is really good for any diet, especially if it's omega-3 and rich in pasture. Another thing you want to include is low-carb vegetables like spinach, kale, broccoli, asparagus. Anything that looks green, you want to kind of include. You want to stay away from like harmony. You want to stay away from things that like fatty. Things that you want to include is like dairy, but like the butter, the cheese, the cream, you know, the fat full fat yogurt. You want to also have nuts, seeds, almond, the good grease. And you want to do extra bitter oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. Okay, so I have, this is for you. Basically, this is just, even myself, Miss Carrie, me and my family, we've been trying to cut down a lot of things. Like, even though, like, we don't have sugar, we have this, we try to eliminate, like, even though we used to eat a lot of white bread, we're going down to whole wheat bread. So there's a lot of changes that we're taking. So this is actually helping us as a family also. This is bad things that you try to avoid while you're doing the Atkins diet. Like anything sugary, like soft drinks, fruit juice, cakes, candy, ice cream. Stay away from those bad sugars. We have good sugars, like strawberries, like this kind of sugars. They have a little bit of sugars, and those are good for you. Grains, wheat, spelled rice. You want to start to stay away from rice because those turn into sugar eventually. So you want to stay away from those kind of bad grains. Vegetables, you want to stay away is for soybean, corn oil, cotton oil, canola oil. That's something I always thought the canola oil was good for us. That's what we bought. And after doing the Atkins diet, I noticed I'm not going to be buying no more canola oil. Some different kind of trans fats, usually in processed foods. That's why I brought this. It's scary, kind of like Progresso. We do have it for emergency, but if we see back here, we can start seeing all the cholesterol it has, all the sodium, all the carbs that it has. Fiber is good, but it has such a little fiber. So things like that, anything processed, anything canned, you want to stay away while you're doing the Atkins diet. Diet drinks, low-fat foods like Diet Pepsi, anything that says diet, they're usually not good for your body because your body, even though they're not sugars, they don't know what to do with those kind of items. So try to stay for anything that says diet or low-fat foods. High carb vegetables, you want to stay away from carbs. And even if you're going to eat carbs, try to eat them raw instead of cooked. Well, because when you cook them, they produce more sugar. Turnip. But those things you want to stay away at the beginning. Stage 1, stage 2. But eventually you want to include those because even though those are high carb vegetables and the Atkins diet, you want to include them on your you want to include them on your meal. Those are not bad at the beginning, yes, because you want to lose weight. But eventually you want to put those in your diet. High carb fruits, you want to stay away from it's at the beginning also. Banana, apples, oranges, pear, grapes. Those are high in sugars. And at the beginning, when you want to lose the 15 minutes, when you want to lose the 15 to 20 pounds of the bean, you want to stay away from those. But eventually, you want to put those in your diet. Of course, you want to eat bananas and apples in the morning instead of the evening, because in the evening, they become more sugar. And in the morning, you can work those sugars off. You need that energy. You want to stay away from starches, potato, sweet potato, and also at the beginning. Eventually, you can put potatoes, and you can put sweet potatoes at the end, in phase 3 and phase 4. Okay, my last thing is anything that's like lentils, beans, chicken peas. When you're phase 1, phase 2, you want to stay away from those. But when you become in phase 3, phase 4, you want to put them in your diet. So the big question, how long it takes before you lose any weight? Well, they say by the time you finish with phase 1, it usually takes about 2 weeks, and you can lose up to 15 pounds. And the second week, you start losing more weight. The difference, like I said, the difference between, and I was a high believer in keto because all my family does keto. But after learning between the two different ones, because this one is really popular, this one was popular in the 90s and in the 80s. This one, if you're gonna go to a wedding and you have a wedding and you want to lose quick 20, 30 pounds, do the keto. But if you wanna live a healthy life and change your diet, this is a perfect way. Because in the keto, you eliminate a lot of things. This one, eventually you're gonna be able to eat rice, eventually you're gonna be able to eat beans, you're gonna be able to eat bananas, you're gonna be able to eat potatoes. But basically you lose the weight, you maintain it, and you learn when to eat the potato. You learn when to eat a slice of bread. With the keto, you gotta stay away from the bread. So as for me, I like the Atkins, and Like I said, it was for me. Thank you, Mr. Robert C. Atkins, for bringing this to our life. I hope you like the presentation, Ms. Carey. Have a good night.